प्राइम डिबेट विच तुहाडा स्वागत है। सनअती विकास किसी भी सूबे की तरक्की लई जरूरी है। पंजाब की सनअत की मौजूदा हालत तसल्ली बख्श नहीं है। सनअती विकास नूं यकीनी बनाउण लई कई पक्षां तों पहलकदमियां दरकार हन। मुकाबले दे दौर विच पंजाब की सनअत अपने पैरीं किवें हो सकती है?
विकास विच सनअत दा अहम थां है। पंजाब दा सनअती विकास सरकार तो लैके संतकारां, विद्वानां ते आम लोकां लई अहम सवाल बनिया होया है। नवीं बन रही सरकार सामने भी यह सवाल है कि सूबे दे सनअती विकास नूं किवें यकीनी बनाया जावे। पंजाब दी रवायती सनअत लुधियाना, जलंधर, अमृतसर ते गुरायां दुआले उसरी। इस तों बाद गोबिंदगढ़, अहमदगढ़, बटाला, भोगपुर ते होर शहरां विच सनअती विकास होया। साइकिल, सिलाई मशीन, खेतीबाड़ी संदां, डॉक्टरी समान, हौजरी, मशीनरी ते खेडां दे समान दी सनअत विच हुण वनसवनता आ चुकी है। इस दे नाल ही दूजे सूबियां ते दूजे मुल्कां दी सनअत नाल मुकाबले दा सवाल खड़ा हो गया है। हिमाचल प्रदेश ते उत्तराखंड च सनअत नूं मिलदियां टैक्स छूटां ते होर रियायतां पंजाबी सनअत दे उजाड़े दा वड्डा कारण बणीਆਂ होईयां ने। जलंधर दी खेड सनअत नूं जिथे मेरठ विच मिलदियां रियायतां ने नुकसान कीता है, उत्थे जम्मू कश्मीर विच लक्कड़ उत्ते लगी पाबंदी बहुत घातक साबित हुई है। छोटियां ते दरमियानियां सनअती इकाइयां अपनी होंद बचाउण लई संघर्ष कर रहीਆਂ ने। बिजली दी किल्लत, लोहे ते कोले वर्गे कच्चे माल दी पूर्ति ਅਤੇ ਢੋਆ ਢੁਆਈ ਦੇ ਸਾਧਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੇਭਰੋਸਗੀ ਸਨਅਤਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਵਾਧਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਹਾਲਾਤ 'ਚ ਸੂਬੇ ਦੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਬਣ ਰਹੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਲਈ ਸਨਅਤ ਦਾ ਵਿਕਾਸ ਚੁਣੌਤੀ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੌਕਾ ਵੀ।
पंजाब की सनअत नूं तरक्की दे राह उत्ते पाउण लई किहड़े नुकते अहम हन? इन्हां नुकतिਆਂ उत्ते चर्चा करन लई साडे नाल स्टूडियो विच हाजिर हन कामना राज अग्रवाला, जो CII मतलब कॉन्फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन इंडस्ट्री दी पंजाब स्टेट काउंसिल दे चेयरपर्सन हन। नीना चथरत, जो सनअत दी सलाहकारी ਅਤੇ सिखलाई नाल जुड़ी संस्था कॉर्नफेरी इंटरनेशनल दे मैनेजिंग प्रिंसीपल हन। एयरफोर्स विचों सेवा मुक्त होए कमांडोर JS कालरा, जो श्री सुखमणी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टैक्नोलॉजी विच कंसलटेंट डेवलपमेंट हन। तुहाडा सारिਆਂ ਦਾ इस वक्त स्वागत है। मैम कामना, what are you expecting from the new government? What are the main issues with industries now?
Daljit ji, we have seen the previous 5 years go by, and we haven't seen the actual impetus in the energy. There has been a sluggishness, but I think it's fortunate that we have the same government back, and they have the pulse of the industry, so they know how we have been behaving in the past 5 years, and we are really looking at them to now actuate what the industry really needs. Because I don't think any state can exist if the industry doesn't grow, and we really haven't seen that growth trajectory. Also, we are I think more than 80% MSME, and Punjab, which was known for its engineering and entrepreneurial skills, because of lack of modernization, now doesn't figure in the topmost states of the country, which is unfortunate. Yeah. People used to look at us, and they used to look up at us and say, let's go to Punjab because that's where the skill is. So where the entrepreneurial energy still rests, we need to give it the technology impetus, and there I think the government has a role to play. Also we need simplifications of the methodologies. So the
procedures for permission and registration,
it's still rather cumbersome, and so I think the government, they're already aware of it. I think we've had lots of very healthy interactions with the government. Now the time has come for them to really take stock and put these things into practice.
I think here right to services is very important.
Yes, I think the right to services, if the government incorporates the industry into this segment, and reduce the industry department interface, I think that is most important, because if you don't necessarily interact, then you don't have problems. So I think now with the Punjab government being very, very proactive on bringing IT into government systems, that is going to be a big help, and I think Punjab is one of the forerunners in this, which is really a good thing. But I think this needs to be taken forward, and the interface has to be reduced.
Nina, you are working as a consultant and into training of people who are working in industry. So how do you look at Punjab from Delhi?
So, couple of things that come to my mind when I address Punjab. One is that I think the state has very long been living on its past glories. And what I mean to say by that is that at one point of time industry was robust, people had entrepreneurial ideas, and government did everything to make sure that those
And
people...
Punjab was number one state.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think over the last few years, that is not indeed the case, even though we may not know clearly whether it's number 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, but that's immaterial. The fact is that when you interact with the industrialists in Punjab, when you interact with the entrepreneurs, I think they have a lot more questions today on where to head to. And I don't know whether they have the answers to that. So if you're looking at it from the outside, you know, you're seeing some extremely good state leadership, you know, which is evident. And Gujarat is a prime example, Bihar is a prime example. In very short span of time, you've seen a lot of good things happen, which has allowed to give the impetus to a state per se. Punjab seems to be, more or less on a status quo. Doesn't seem to be making the progress that it can, and it should have. It was on a very good platform. I see again and again in the ticker saying bottlenecks hinder growth. I think probably that as you look at it from the outside, we're not the best position to say what those bottlenecks are. You seem to have done a good study to say these are the identified bottlenecks. And if this government were to focus on those bottlenecks and actually break them one by one, the one that immediately comes to my mind when I interact with entrepreneurs from Punjab are the skill gap issue. Where is your skilled manpower or semi-skilled manpower residing? Are they there in Punjab? If they're not there, I think industry is suffering on account of that.
There is another aspect which is concerned with the neighboring states of Punjab.
Sure.
Haryana is close to Delhi, which has its own advantage than Himachal and Uttarakhand.
Absolutely.
The tax holidays there is disadvantageous to Punjab's industry. How do you look at that?
No, most definitely. If you've got tax ops which are benefiting any entrepreneur's industry, he's most likely to go and stay in those states. So I think there is time when there has to be some kind of attraction policies. It needn't necessarily be through a tax op method. Maybe there are other ways. Maybe, as Kamna rightly says, maybe providing them the right technology or the platform or the help or support or whatever. It can come in many forms. It needn't necessarily be just a tax op. I think innovation per se could be another idea, which we were talking about, and maybe that's where you can throw light on.
ਜਸਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਨੋਵੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ?
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਪੀਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਟਿਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਨੋਵੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਏਗੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਨ ਪਾਵਰ ਨੂੰ ਲਗਾਓ ਔਰ ਹਾਈ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਕਰੋ। ਅਨਫੋਰਚੂਨੇਟਲੀ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਮਾਲ ਐਂਡ ਮੀਡੀਅਮ ਐਂਟਰਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਮੈਨ ਪਾਵਰ ਦਾ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ। ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਟਾਈਪ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਵਿਦ ਹਾਈ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰਿੰਗ ਟਾਈਪ ਆਫ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ। ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ
ਪਰ ਸਨਅਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਟਾਈਪ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਵੈਦਰ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਟਾਟਾ ਔਰ ਬਿਰਲਾ ਔਰ ਬਜਾਜ।
ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਰੈਸਟ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਇੰਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਕਈ ਗੁਣਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਜ਼ਮ ਅਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਕੋ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਐਜ਼ ਏ development consultant with a set of academic institutions with the primary aim ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਕਿੱਲ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਰਾਈ ਜਾਏ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਐਸਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਡਲ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਕਟਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਲੈਣ ਤੇ ਫੈਕਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੈਕਟਰੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਪਰਟੀਕੂਲਰ PhD MTech ਵਗੈਰਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਨਰਜਿਕ ਅਰੇਂਜਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਬੜੀ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਹੈ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇੰਪਰੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਏਗੀ।
Kamna ji, how do you look at this issue?
As I see it, I think we have a plethora of institutes in Punjab, so I don't think there is any dearth of institutes per se, but I think we need to focus a little more on how to create this.
Is quality an issue?
Quality is an issue to a point, primarily for the simple reason that I don't think our course matter really addresses the need of the industry. So there needs to be a more sound connect between the industry and the academia, which I think is now coming because I think it is need based. Since the need is becoming so strong because we don't have manpower in Punjab and I think the whole industry is struggling for shortage of manpower, Primarily, we don't have the primary manpower
of skilled manpower or
also
unskilled?
unskilled. So now the state is realizing and the industry is realizing that if the unskilled manpower is not available, we need to upscale. So we need to modernize, and then we need the skilled manpower. So in any case, both need to be addressed. But to have the skilled manpower in place, if the industry thinks of upscaling and modernizing, where are the people going to come from? So I think the energy is coming bottom up, and everybody is realizing that where are the people going to come from. Educational institutes are also getting energized. PTU is doing a lot of work, and restructuring of course matter, making courses more amenable to usage, and bringing the industry into institutes and vice versa to give more hands-on training is something that is really the need of the hour, and I think we are waking up to it, but I think we need to do it quickly.
Neena ji, how Haryana, Gujarat and other industrially developed states are coping up with this issue?
So I think it largely starts with the government. I think if the government has it right and the policy is sort of well understood by the stakeholders, it sort of starts from there. And then it's really about people and their entrepreneurial energy kind of coming together. I think as the moment you have this private-public partnership, you will see a lot of things moving at a fast pace. I think allocation of budget is another thing. Where are they allocating their budgets, and what are they
For
doing?
industrial training and
Absolutely, for industrial training and for skilling the manpower. And rightly so, it could be full education, it could be semi-skilling, it could be skilling as the need of the industry may be. But as Kamna rightly says, let's identify what is the need and let's focus those institutes to produce that kind of caliber to ensure that the industry demands are met and that the supply demand equation is sort of balanced.
ਜਸਪਾਲ ਜੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਜੇ ਪੈਸਾ ਲਾਵੇਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਅਲ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ?
ਇਹਦੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ government is definitely a important facilitating organization. At the same time, I will also emphasize that the private sector also has to play a major role. Say for example, institutions the government ने बड़े सारे बना देते हैं. प्राइवेट सैक्टर ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ, ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰਿੰਗ, ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ, ਪੋਲੀਟੈਕਨਿਕਸ, ਨੀਚੇ ਦੇ ITI ਵਗੈਰਾ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਕਿਲਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਲੈਵਲ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, they are not able to perform the type of duties which the industry is expecting out of them. दूसरा, अगर the quantitative requirement of manpower is very high and the availability of at least the skilling institution, education institution a lot, they are coming out exploiting in a very big way, but the skilling type of organization perhaps are much more required. And even the labor which is available in the industry, they also need refresher training. Supposing a particular industry has got 20 odd employees, they can keep on cycling 5 page, 10 page, अपने दोबारा ट्रेनिंग करके आगे. So reskilling to maintain the modernization.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ.
देखो, as far as R&D organizations are concerned at the moment, they are very, very limited in total numbers. But if you have to have a quality product to come out and keep on developing new products to keep pace with what is required by the Indian market to start with, and subsequently for the globalization market, the R&D has to be very close to the place of work. And that means the private sector must join hands, maybe in the form of a cluster. 20 industries of a similar type of activities can join hands, set up a joint R&D center, and then the R&D can come up, and the government can support to a large extent, providing them land, infrastructure, machinery, etc., etc. It has to be a synergized arrangement between the private sector and this
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
state.
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਮਨਾ ਅਗਰਵਾਲਾ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ. ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਚਰਚਾ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ.